What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling good. Thank you so much for being here in the first place. What are we doing? We're listening to the Beatles. That's what's happening on this beautiful Thursday afternoon at 6:08 for me. But whatever time it is for you, hope that it's finding you right. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the first track on the album, Back in the U.S.S.R. I've always heard of this track. Never heard it as far as I know. So we'll go ahead and give it a listen. Now, with the White Album, this is released 1968. I don't have my mouse. I don't know where in the Beatles catalog this ends up. We have last listened to Sgt. Pepper's, which is really good. So I'm excited to get into this one, which I'm pretty sure was before. Hold on. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club, that was 1967. This... Oh, no. It's after. I'm sorry. Excuse me for my misinformation. It's the album after, released 1968. Okay, so let's see what's different. What's changed? What's stayed the same? I'm sure they're still experimenting, still doing their thing. I don't know. Let's listen to the music. We'll talk about it after. Oh, let's go. Oop, I didn't press it. Let's go.
Back in the U.S.S.R. Back in the U.S. Back in the U.S.S.R.
I like that. Oh, maybe a little bit of a dual meaning. Right? This part is really Beach Boys. Are you kidding? Okay, the album begins with some high energy, some high stepping. So, immediately getting into it, it sounds like a plane landing and then, well, I guess taking off maybe, and then landing at the end there. There's a few things to go over in this track. First of all, like I said, high energy of an opener. Really sounds fantastic. That charged piano, bum, 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 bum. The vocals, of course. There's two sections in there that happen twice. That sounds immediately like the Beach Boys. And I know that with Pet Sounds, and I don't know which album, but one of the Beatles albums, I know there was a little bit of like a back and forth. Is the White Album that album? Or I really don't know. That's outside of my historical viewpoint. But regardless, that is so cool. The way they brought in the and that specific swing. That's very Beach Boys. I just thought that was really cool. And I'm wondering if I am correct in their rivalry, I believe, then maybe that's a little bit of a poke at them. Regardless, this is such a fun track to get into. Now, I am curious. This was released in 1968, I said. Back in the U.S.S.R. Isn't there some Cold War stuff still kind of lingering around? So I'm really curious to look into the lyrical and historical context of the track as well. I'm curious to hear about the reception to this track also, and I really like how McCartney's doing the vocals here. Sounds phenomenal. Duh, that we know that. But I really love how the guitar at the end, you just hear just really fast. Drumming is powerful. Like, this is just a really solid introduction into the album. Let's get into the lyrics, and then I want to dive deeper into this track a little bit too. Flew in from Miami Beach, BOAC. Didn't get to bed last night. On the way, the paper bag was on my knee, and I had a dreadful flight. Okay, well, I was on a flight when I went to Zurich, and on my way back, there was a little kid, and by little kid, I mean, I don't know, 10 or so, and he had his paper bag ready to go, and he used it. I'm back in the U.S.S.R. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the U.S.S.R. Been away so long I hardly knew the place. Gee, it's good to be back home. Leave it till tomorrow to unpack my case. Honey, disconnect the phone. So I'm getting a little bit of a, I can't remember the exact word I want to use, but a little bit of a contrast here. The music tone is happy. He's singing it in a happy way, but honey, disconnect the phone. They be listening. They be tapping. Well, the Ukraine girls really knock me out. They leave the West behind. And Moscow girls make me sing and shout. That Georgia's always on my mind. Love the inclusion of that lyric, of course, that, very famous song. Moscow girls make me sing and shout. That Georgia's always on my mind. So is this, once again, a little bit of a play. Not necessarily on words, but a little bit of a dual meaning, where he's missing the U.S. Could be. And let's see. Oh, show me around your snow-peaked mountains way down south. Take me to your daddy's farm. Let me hear your balalaikas ringing out. Come and keep your comrade warm. I think that's funny. All right, let's dig into this. Let's dive in a little bit because there's something about this track. There's going to be a lot of deep meanings here. Let's see. The song is first of all a parody of Chuck Berry's "Back in the USA" and the Beach Boys' "California Girls." Okay, I don't believe I've ever heard that Chuck Berry song. Honestly, I don't really think I've heard anything about Chuck Berry. The lyrics subvert Berry's patriotic sentiments about the U.S. as the narrator expresses relief upon returning home to the Soviet Union. They recorded this as a three-piece after Ringo Starr temporarily left the group. Okay, so he's not here. Instead, the other Beatles created a composite drum track from numerous takes. Okay, so he's not, he's playing here obviously, but he's not really playing here. They took other takes from other tracks and put it in here. Okay, all right, so they kind of took his work and just tossed it in there. Basically, in 1976, backed by Twist and Shout, it was issued as a single to promote the compilation album Rock and Roll Music. That's really funny. Now I'm just reading a little bit of the information here as well. I want to see how they kind of came up with it. I do see the inspiration once again from Chuck Berry. It says, I liked the idea of Georgia girls and talking about places like the Ukraine as if they were California, you know? It was also hands across the water, which I'm still conscious of, because they like us out there, even though the bosses in the Kremlin may not. Critical reception, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Fantastic piece of screaming excitement. I thought it said excrement, and I said that's not good at all. Great opener. LP begins with a rock bass falsetto backed number called "Back in the U.S.S.R." So it looks like it had pretty good reception. Until I scroll down and see this whole subtitle: political controversy and cultural significance. Back in the U.S.S.R. prompted immediate responses in the U.S. from the New Left and the Right. Among the latter, blah, 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 cite the song as further evidence of the Beatles' supposed pro-Soviet sentiments. The song's mocking tone and communist setting thereby had the desired effect of inciting ire. Blah, 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 blah. They describe it as rather tactless jest. So there's a lot of thoughts. I mean, there's paragraphs. I'm not going through all of them, but there's paragraphs about this track. So maybe it wasn't 100% well received. It was a bit divisive, you could say. Anyways, really fun though. Let me know what you guys thought of it. You can let me know in the comments down below. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter. You can support the channel on Patreon. Thank you as always for being here. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.